Hello everyone and welcome or welcome back to my channel. This week we are letting a colour wheel choose what books I read this week. So I've got this random colour generator. I've added in black and white myself, but the wheel itself I just found online and then just added in black and white because I feel like those need to be options. And I'm going to spin the wheel and I'm going to read a book that's cover is whatever colour it lands on. I think that was the worst explanation I've ever done in my life. I'm probably going to choose 2 or 3 books this way. This week it just depends how many we get through. But I'm screen recording and I'm just going to spin the wheel to find the first colour. I'm scared. Okay. The first colour we got was deep purple. So I'm going to grab a couple of deep purple books and see if we can figure out what I'm going to read first this week. Okay, I've picked out 4 options. 2 of these are actually special editions and one of these is on my January TBR, so I should probably choose that one. And I might. But the first book I have is A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. This was the Fairy Loot YA fantasy book for December, so literally last month. This is set in London in 1923 and that's all I'm reading. It says every fire starts with a single spark. It's a YA fantasy book and it's purple. I don't think I'm in the mood for this right now though. I don't think I'm in the mood for a YA, really. I don't know which of these actually are YA. But then we have The Serpent and the Wolf by Rebecca Robinson, which is a fantasy romance. It's like an enemies to lovers. It says a fake marriage meets enemies to lovers in Rebecca Robinson's steamy, thrilling romantasy debut, the start to a duology perfect for fans of Sarah J Maas and Jennifer L. Armentrout. And it says a master of the spicy slow burns. This one definitely is not YA, and this one's actually really short. It's like 340 pages I think, which is quite short for a fantasy. This is a strong contender, I'm not gonna lie. And then we have Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I've spoken about this book so much and have put it on so many TBRs and still haven't read it, and I don't know why. I think this again is a fantasy romance, potentially enemies to lovers. All of these are very much the same vibe, I won't lie. And then finally, the one that is actually on my January TBR is Heavenly Bodies by Imani Eriyu. I still haven't figured out how to pronounce that name. This was the romantasy book from Fairy Loot for December 2024 and the theme was A Love Most Divine. This is stunning. It's like dark purple and black with gold. And the naked hardback. Oh my god, stop. I need to get it out. Are you joking? Okay, this is insane. Oh my god, this is written by a British author. I didn't know. Oh my god, okay, this is a British author. That's crazy to me. I think this is definitely also a fantasy romance. It says, well, obviously it's from the romantasy box, but it says, you know the most dangerous kind of villain, a woman with nothing left to lose. Eee! Okay, I think I'm going to choose Heavenly Bodies because, like I said, it is on my January TBR and I've just heard really good things about this and I really want to read it. And I think Em said she might read this soon as well, so I might ask her if she's going to read it now and then we can read it at the same time. This is like 500 pages, so maybe this isn't the smart choice, but I think this is the one I'm going to choose. And I'm not going to read the blurb out or anything, but once I'm like 100 pages in or so, I'll give you a summary and obviously how I'm feeling about the book. But yeah, this is our deep purple book. Hello, I'm just popping in here to talk a little bit about the jewellery that I've been wearing recently and throughout this video. So I recently got very kindly gifted some jewellery from Beautiful Earth Boutique, who are this really incredible company, and the jewellery on there is just stunning. All the stuff is also very affordable and a lot of the time it's also on sale. So I will leave a link to Beautiful Earth Boutique in the description, and I'll leave a link to all the pieces that I'm about to show to you. So I got a couple of necklaces, a couple of rings and a bracelet from this company, and I'll just give you a little overview. This company was also founded in London, which we love. It all comes in this really stunning packaging. I've took most of mine out because, like I say, I've been wearing them every single day, but I will just unbox the last 2 rings that I have to open with you, and then I will give you a little overview of all the pieces that I've got. Like I said, I've got a few necklaces, a few rings and a bracelet. So it's beautifully packaged. This is a really gorgeous ring. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the fine details without me doing the overview. It is just absolutely stunning, all engraved and everything. Just beautiful, and it looks so elegant as well. And I am a jewellery girly. If you know me, I've always got some form of jewellery on. So when they reached out to me, I was so happy, because it's just, jewellery is just a staple in your life, and if you're not wearing jewellery, I feel like you don't feel as put together. Both of these rings here are also from Beautiful Earth. Like I said, it's also very affordable, and I'm pretty sure right now, I'm going to double check, but when I last went on the website, they had a 3 for 2 deal on. They currently have a Valentine's Day sale on, and it's any 5 pieces of jewellery for 70% off, and they always just have great deals on there. So like I said, I will leave a link to them in the description, and I'll also link every piece of jewellery that I got from this company. But thank you so much to Beautiful Earth Boutique for kindly gifting me these pieces. Day, and I have started reading Heavenly Bodies. I'm only on chapter 7, which is page 45, so I'm not very far in so far, but I do have a basic idea of what's going on. So this follows a girl called Alara, who is the princess of Asteria. Hold on. Yes, Asteria. And basically her parents, who are the king and queen of Asteria, are murdered. And it was basically foretold in this prophecy years ago that this was going to happen. And she is kidnapped by the gods of Helios, which is a kingdom next to Asteria. And she's basically kidnapped, and they tell her, you can either train with us and we're going to try and kill the person who murdered your entire family, or, which is like a god, they're basically planning on killing a god, or you can accept your fate and you're probably going to be killed by the god instead of helping us kill them before he kills you. And Lorenzo is the prince of Helios, and the king of Helios is there, and basically they don't like each other. Lorenzo has like a reputation that precedes him, and they don't like each other, so it's very much enemies to lovers, and they are going to start training together. She's living in their castle, palace, whatever it is. So it's forced proximity as well, and it's really good so far. But that's the basic summary. Like I said, I'm only 45 pages in, so I'm going to continue this today, but I really have good feelings about this one. Okay, I just finished Heavenly Bodies by Amani Eru. I still don't know how you say the last name, I'm really sorry. But yeah, I just finished this, and I am going to give this book 4 stars. I made a couple of notes on my phone while I was reading, but for the most part I was literally just reading, annotating, like I couldn't stop reading. It was so good. The first thing I will say is that this book is really smutty, or not really, but it is quite smutty, so if you're not into smut, maybe skim those scenes or just give it a miss. It is quite smutty. Also, so this is obviously fantasy, and it's not urban fantasy, it's not set in like the real world, but the way they describe how they dress and the way they talk and stuff really reminds me of Bridgerton, and I was just getting Bridgerton vibes, specifically season 1 with the yearning. Like, there was so much yearning in this book. The characters didn't like really get together until like the very end, when they finally admitted to themselves, like, you know, that they liked each other. It was like very much like slow burn, enemies to lovers, yearning is back, guys, and we're here for it. It was really good. I did shed a little tear at the end because something really heartbreaking happened, and I was so invested in these characters. The whole, like, one of the main themes in this is like star-crossed lovers and like forbidden love, the fact that they can't be together, and I love that trope. Another really interesting thing about this book is that a lot of the people who have magic, or a lot of the Fae that have magic in this, can cast illusions, so it was really hard to know what was real and what wasn't, so that created a lot of really good plot twists, because you just would never know if what you were reading was an illusion or not, and I absolutely loved that. Like, when you found out that like something wasn't real, it was a shock. I adored it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars just because I actually don't know why. I just feel like I don't have the 5-star feeling that I usually do when I'm like, this is definitely a 5-star. So I'm gonna give it 4, probably like 4.5, but on Goodreads it'll be a 4. But yeah, I'm so happy that I finished that, and that was a really good way to start this video. So now I am gonna spin the wheel again, and we're gonna see which colour book we have to read next. So okay, we got deep purple again, but I just did deep purple, so I'm gonna spin again because that's not fair. I don't want to do the same colour twice. Okay, it's not loading. The colour we got is pink. This is actually perfect because I am literally like 40 pages in to a pink book, so we're gonna do that one. Okay, so this book I'm actually listening to on audio. I might spin the wheel again, and then I can also include this book as well as another book, because I'm listening to this book on audio. I'm on page 46, and it is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. This is I think Ali Hazelwood's last release. No, maybe Bride was her last release. Anyway, this is like a really smutty, steamy romance book. It follows Rue and Eli, and I'm pretty sure that they both have like trauma in their pasts, and they sort of trauma bond, but then they have this really physical relationship because they don't know how to have emotional relationships, so it's all physical relationship. I'm hoping in the end they realise that they can have this emotional relationship as well, but I don't know how it ends. But yeah, I've been listening to this on audio. Like I said, I literally just listen to audiobooks on my commute to and from work, and sometimes during work, because otherwise I barely get any reading done. So for pink, we are going to choose Not in Love, and I will obviously continue to update you with that, but like I said, I am listening to it. So I actually think I'm going to spin the wheel again so that I can choose a physical book to read as well. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to spin again, and I got pink again, so I'm going to respin. Light green. I genuinely don't think I have any light green books. That's such a specific colour. I'm going to spin one more time. Best of 3. Okay, yellow. This book is on my January TBR, and it is Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kuang, or R.F. Kuang. I think I'm going to pick up this one. This follows Athena and June, and Athena is an author and she dies, it says, in a freak accident, and June steals her unpublished manuscript and publishes it as her own under the ambiguous name Juniper Song. So yeah, it follows June, who steals this author's work and claims it as her own, and yeah, the only, like, everyone who's read this book, I've heard just incredible things about it. And I think it's like a literary fiction, and I haven't read a literary fiction in years. So I'm actually really excited to pick this up, and I do really need to read it. It's only 319 pages, so I feel like this is quite a good one to pick. So I'm actually very glad that we got yellow, because I can put yellow face on here. And yeah, I'm going to start reading this book tonight. Okay, we are here to update on Yellow Face. I don't have the book with me here physically, so I'll put an image on the screen. But I did finish Yellow Face yesterday. And why has this been on my TBR for like 2 years and I just haven't picked it up? I've been really intimidated to pick it up. And I'm so glad that I finally read it. I gave it 5 stars. It is, I guess it's a literary fiction, but I am just gonna double check. It's just like a contemporary fiction, I suppose. Yeah, fiction, contemporary, lit fic. So this follows June. I think I've already explained the premise, but this follows June, who, her name is Juniper Haywood. Her middle name is Song, so her full name is Juniper Song Haywood, and she is an author, and her debut novel was not very successful, and she has an author friend who she went to college with called Athena Liu, who she was very successful and is very successful. And June and Athena sort of have this like sort of a rivalry type friendship going on, where June is jealous of Athena because of course she is. They're both authors and Athena has got a lot more success than June. And one night while they're celebrating a Netflix deal that Athena landed, Athena tragically, unexpectedly dies, and June finds her manuscript on her desk and takes it and decides to publish it, and under her name. And Athena is Chinese, June is not. June is a white woman, but her previous novel was published under the name June Haywood, because that's her name. And she publishes this specific novel under the name Juniper Song, which is a bit more ambiguous, because the novel is about Chinese soldiers in World War II or World War One. I can't specifically remember which war. That wasn't really the point of the book. Doesn't matter which war it was. But it follows Chinese soldiers in the war. And so she publishes under Juniper Song so that it's a bit more ambiguous, because they're like, oh, should a white woman be publishing a novel about Chinese soldiers? Like, is that right? And it basically follows as June faces challenges in the author and reader community, with some people not liking that she's publishing about Chinese soldiers, and also about the guilt that she feels after basically stealing Athena's work after she died. And we basically just follow June on her author journey, and the ending was left very open-ended. I think June is she's very delusional. She has genuinely convinced herself that it was her work rather than Athena's, and it's just crazy to see how her tone changes from guilt to delusion. But it was very good. It was very well written. And I gave it 5 stars, like I said. I think that I did give my final update on Heavenly Bodies. If I forgot, I'll add in a clip here now. But that means that the final book I have to finish for this vlog is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I am exactly 50% into this book. I'm on chapter 19, which is page 187. Like I said, I have been listening to this one on audio during my commutes. And our main characters, Rue and Eli, are very tragic. Like, they both have been through something bad in their childhood, and that basically means that they're not very good at forming emotional relationships. And Rue specifically, like, she literally like has sex with someone and then never sees them ever again. She like has this specific rule where it's like one time, goodbye. But it turns out that Eli's company is like sort of trying to take over the company that Rue works at. So Eli and Rue are sort of forced together, and forced to see each other. And there's something more there that they're both trying to navigate, while also both being really bad at emotional relationships. I'm enjoying this so far. I kind of would like to read some of it physically because I feel like I'm not fully invested in the audio at the moment. So I would like to read some of it physically, but we'll see. But this is the last book I need to finish for this video. Okay guys, so I've literally just sat and read physically the entire last 50% of Not in Love. I'm really glad that I read the rest of this physically, because I feel like if I'd carried on listening to the audio, I wouldn't have heard some of the things that were being said. Like I explained earlier, Eli and Rue both have bad pasts, and because of it they don't easily form emotional connections, but they really bond with each other. And I suppose it's sort of trauma bonding, but it's not, you know, because of the same situation. It's definitely a guy falls first situation. There's also like this mystery element to it because Rue's boss Florence, who Eli and his co-workers are trying to take the company from, she has something gone on and she knows Eli and his friends from the past. And she's a really close friend of Rue's, and there's like this mystery surrounding Florence and why they want to take over her company. Rue doesn't have very many friends, and I really related to that in a sad way, but for some reason she just really allowed Eli in. I mean, Eli had to work for it, don't get me wrong, like Eli worked to get in there, but they're just like two like intertwined souls, like they just make sense together. And I most likely at some point this year I'm going to reread this book and annotate it, because some of the quotes in this were just beautiful and I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. It probably would have been a 5 if I'd read it physically for the first 50% as well, but like I said, upon reread maybe it'll be 5 stars. So that's the third and final book finished for this video. So that's 3 books read using the colour generator. I think the colour generator really chose well for me, because Heavenly Bodies and Not in Love were both 4 stars, this one 4.5, and Yellowface was 5 stars. So we had a 4, a 4.5 and a 5. So the colour generator did really well. But that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.